Hi Scott. I had a chance to review your video and we're going to go over a couple pieces of things to work on for the month. So first one is a steady head. So that was the first thing that popped out to me this month. When you set up, we want to make sure your head is going to be very stable as we swing the golf club. Right now as you're swinging, your head's going all the way back over your right foot and then moving lateral. One of the biggest keys, and this goes back through golf, listen to Jack Nicklaus ever talk about the golf swing. One of the first things he talks about, biggest keys, steady head. So what we want to do, we want to keep your head from moving laterally over your right foot. And one of the nice things about golf is the golf ball is a stationary target. You play tennis, baseball, softball, whatever. All those sports require you to react to a moving ball being thrown at you or hit at you. Nice thing about golf, it's stationary. So when we truly make the golf swing rotational, my head's going to stay stable. I'm going to rotate up to the top. I'm going to get my pressure going forward, come back down, hit the golf ball, follow through. One of the things, it's a PGA Championship week. I going back historically, probably 15 years. There's been so many of these years where I've been sitting in the shop watching the Golf Channel, and without fail, at least once every time, the Golf Channel loves to show the Sean Foleys, Hank Haney's, all these big teachers come in, work with their players on the range prior to the tournament starting. Without fail, every year I see at least one coach each week put their hand on their player's head to make sure that it's stable so they can't move lateral, just because they already recognize the fact that a stable head is such a key to the golf swing. In addition to the stable head, there's other things that are occurring as well. So when we set up a golf ball, our spine is never vertical. It's always in this tilted position. So let's say my spine is tilted 15 degrees away from the target at address. So I'm in what's referred to as a side bend. So that side bend is, as I go up to the top of my backswing, now my spine's going to get a little more vertical. And now as I return back down to the golf ball, my spine is actually going from that 15 to like a 30-degree tilt. My head's not dipping, it's not changing, it's staying steady, but my lead hip rotates open and my lead leg gets straight, and so I'm effectively rotating my hip out of the way. That is keeping if my head stays stable, that original 15-degree tilt gets a little vertical at the top and returns to like a 30-degree side bend at impact. Thinking about what the side bend has to do in ball flight. If I set up and I have a lack of side bend, meaning my spine is vertical, swinging into the golf ball, the shot is going to be most likely fade slice. A player who creates the side bend as they swing into the golf ball. At that point, so that allows the club to return from inside the golf ball, inside the target line, and a side bend is necessary if you want to hit a draw, straight draw, especially a draw. That's the ball flight you're going to get with that side bend now. That allows that to happen. If your spine is vertical at impact, you can still, basically if you hit it left, it's a pull or a pull hook, one of those two. You can't really hit a draw if your spine's vertical at impact. So the next aspect of what we're going to focus on for the month is going to be the early release. So you're still releasing it a little bit early. So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to use this stick first. So if I swing the club, I'm going to use the stick. I'm basically just going to use it as an extension here. If I swing up the top of my backswing, you can see that the butt end of the club is pointing at the target line, target line, target line, coming back down, target line, target line. When the club is parallel to the ground, it's still almost pointing out in front of the golf ball, which means my chest is now down, and I'm going to continue to rotate through the shot. So the goal is we want that butt end of the club driving down that target line as much as we can. If you release it early, you're standing up, and then your right arm and the club are kind of forming a straight line. I can also use this same stick. I'm going to put it at a 20-degree angle inside my target line. The next part of this too is, as I swing up the top of my backswing, I'm up at the top, I'm going to get that pressure going forward, the club's dropping down, butt end of the club is pointing out in front of the target line, or in front of the golf ball, excuse me. I come back down, the club is actually parallel to this yellow stick. That means the club's on the shaft plane, and the butt end of the club is pointing out in front of me. So Again, I'm just rotating through the shot, chest down. As you continue to fight, releasing early, you see how my right arm and the club, my left arm and the club are forming a straight line essentially, and I'm releasing it. My right hand, my right wrist is now flexed. I want to keep my right hand in that cupped extended position. And in addition to that, when I'm coming down, here's a big key. Look at how the end of the club, basically the club, the shaft is extending through my right arm, my right elbow. That's exactly where we want that. And you can see how it just falls right over top that yellow stick, 20 degrees inside the target line, and I'm basically just rotating out of the way again. The last aspect here you really want to focus on is controlling this club some more. So when you grip the club, if you pick it up, if the toe is right of the shaft, it's an open face position, and your left wrist is going to be cupped, meaning open club face, left hand knuckles point up at the sky, your left hand is cupped, face is going to be open. So if your left hand is cupped in the swing, that face is open, and it's going to make it really likely you're going to be hanging back on your trail side. So I want you to focus on trying to get a little more flexion. You don't have to be like Dustin Johnson and get that left wrist like a 90-degree angle right there. And, that's crazy. That's not very comfortable. But we do want some flexion, so you can see I'm not cupping my left hand. So imagine if you took a golf pencil and just took the eraser part, put it into the glove, and the tip pointing out. If you go back and you cup your left hand, that pencil is just going to stab you right in your forearm. So if I'm swinging up to the top here, you can see my left wrist is in this flexion position, so it's bowed. I get to the top, you can see as the club gets up around my shoulder, you start to see grooves of the club face, grooves of the face, grooves of the face, grooves of the face until right around here. But again, my lead wrist is in that flexed, bowed position, so the club face is really stable. What happens, the more you get stuck trying to manipulate and control that face, because it's getting open because your left hand is cupped, now as you come back down, you're spending more time trying to drop and get your weight forward, but what happens is now you're stuck trying to control the club face and square it up more, and your weight gets stuck hanging back. If your weight ever gets stuck on your trail side, that almost guarantees you're going to dump it, and your lead arm and the club are going to be a straight line early. And then if your lead arm and the club are a straight line early, now you have to make a compensation. You stand up so you don't bottom out. So if you maintain that forward shaft lean, your lead wrist is flexed, you're swinging in, you're maintaining that angle, the club's lagging behind your hands, you can see how if I just rotate my hip out of the way, chest is down, now I'm going to be swinging in, I'm going to swing down on the golf ball, the club is going to swing down, I'm going to make ball first contact, lead arm straight, hands leading, shaft leaning forward, ball first contact, then the club's going to bottom out, that's the low point, and now that club's going to start traveling back up in that circle again. Rather than dumping it here, now I'm going to have to stand up, and again, there's a lot of inconsistencies at that point. So focus on the steady head. In our swing, steady head. We want to focus on the side bend as a result. We don't want our body moving lateral. We want to create that nice stable position with our spine being in that tilted position. And if you've ever skipped a rock at a pond, basically it's a very similar type position. You can see how my spine is tilted back. Baseball player, same thing. Second baseman picks up a ball when turn two. So you can see that movement is there. It's an athletic movement that can be found in a couple other sports. So we got the steady head, the side bend as a result. We want to focus on not releasing it early, not casting. We want to maintain that angle, maintain our posture as we swing down and through, and then focus on that wrist as well. So gives you a couple things to focus on for the month. Definitely, if you have any questions, just reach out.